Warning: do not use fire without adult supervision. Fire can cause harm to both you and personal property. Fire should never be handled by a child without adult supervision and should always be closely monitored. Hey guys, welcome to another Children's Moment with Evangelical United Methodist Church. Today we're going to talk about God and how He is a healer and how He helps us to become who He has made us to be. Now, each of us are created in God's image, and we know that because of Genesis 1, verse 27. It says this: "So God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Male and female, He created them." And then again in Psalm 139, verse 13, it says, "For you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb." Now, both of these verses are really cool because it tells us that God knows each and every one of us, and He personally made us to look like Him. Now, do you guys know what the word Christian means? Yeah, it means like Christ, or some people say little Christ. Now, we know that Jesus was Christ. So when we say that we are a Christian, it means that we are going to act like them. And the way that we treat others and the way that we act, everything that we do should reflect Christ and things that Christ would do. But there's one thing that happens that keeps us from being like Christ. Do you guys happen to know what that is? Yeah, it's called sin. Now, do you guys know what sin is? Now, sin is when God tells us that we should not do something or something is bad, but we do it anyways. So, for instance, some examples are stealing, lying, murdering, or hating people, or even when one of our friends has something and we really, really want it, and that's all that we can think about is how can we get this exact same thing that our friend has. And even when we don't listen to our moms and dads and do what they say, that's considered sin. What ideas do you guys have for things that we might do on a day-to-day basis that might not be very happy to God? Yeah, those are some really great ideas. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit. What are some things that happen to us that hurt us or make us sad that may also make God sad? Yeah, all of those things are really upsetting to us and can upset God. Whether we are being bullied at school, or we're left out of a game that someone was playing, or maybe someone we cared about lied to us, God also cares. See, when we sin or we are hurt by someone, we break a little bit inside, and over time, all of those little breaks combine and we break. And when we break, it is really hard to fix ourselves. You see, sometimes it's because we're so angry or we're so hurt that we start to feel bad for ourselves, or we feel like we can't do anything. But here's the good news, my friends. You see, God is sometimes called the healer, not just because He heals people when they're sick, but because He can make us whole. He can make us one. Just like this broken crayon, we cannot fix it just by trying to put the pieces back together. No matter how we push it together or how hard we push it, it won't stick. But when we hand over our problems to God, when we hand over our sin to God, when we hand over our pain to God, He can begin to heal us. He can begin to restore us. He can begin to change us so that we can go back into the image we once were of Him. But what do you notice about this crayon after we've put it back together again? Yeah, it doesn't look like it once did at the very beginning of this, right? Just like us, when we have been touched by God, we become one again, but we are forever changed. We are changed in that we seek God. We are changed in that we pray more. We are changed in how we treat others and ourselves. We might not be changed by our physical appearance, but people can see a change in our actions. People can see a change in how we treat ourselves. People can see a change in how we treat others. When we allow God to help us become more like Christ, we start to become the person God created us to be. In order to remember to keep God close, I have a song I'd like us to learn. It's
It's called I'm all wrapped up, tied up, tangled up.
Okay, so here's our song. We have some motions, so loosen up. Okay, the first motion is going to be I'm all wrapped up. So give yourself a big old bear hug. I'm all wrapped up. You want to extend your arms, turn your palms so that they can meet, and you can lace your fingers. Your arms are going to be overlapped. This is going to be tied up. And then you're going to bring your hands to your face, to your chin. Okay? That's going to be tangled up. So it's I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up. Okay, let's try that again. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with God. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, tied up, tangled up with God. Oh yeah. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with God. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, tied up, tangled up with God. Oh yeah. Okay guys, you did an amazing job. We're going to see how fast we can go. Okay, ready? Let's wiggle out. Ready? Here we go. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with God. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, tied up, tangled up with God. Oh yeah. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with God. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, tied up, tangled up with God. Oh yeah. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with God. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, tied up, tangled up with God. Oh yeah. One more time, we can do this. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with God. I'm all wrapped up, I'm all tied up, I'm all tangled up with Jesus. I'm all wrapped up, tied up, tangled up with God.